Hello and welcome. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and I just want to get you settled again. This this moment, we talk about something that is obvious. Majority of mankind have been exposed to it. It's just that a lot of people do not like to talk about it, address it. Unfortunately, those who are seen as celebrity, those who are like social media influencer online that talk about these things, they talk about it in such a way that will further destroy the lives of people. Now, just last week, one of the Instagram celebrity who happens to also be on-air personality in Nigeria, a woman, said openly that she will be really disgusted or gobsmacked if in this time and age a lady doesn't have up to 3 dildos. May I say that this particular broadcast is for 18 above? That she will be very surprised if the young ladies, single ladies, women generally of these days do not have up to 3 different kind of dildos. You know what dildo mean? You know, dildo is that penis figurine. Let me use penis figurine. That has some rotor or vibration device in it that helps women to by stimulating their clitoris, G-spot inside of their vagina also. So she was like, she'll be very surprised if a young lady or married or whatever it is do not have up to 3 of them. And trust the reaction of people. A lot of women were really very excited about it. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine who is a lady made reference to it on Facebook, so that got me curious. Now I went to search. Now, leaving that apart, even though she was trying to make a point, but she was making it in such a way that it's going to mess a lot of people's life up. Because no matter how good your dildo is, it cannot really give you the feeling of being with a human being. You know, the same feeling that masturbation gives you is the same feeling that all this weapon of organ stimulation give to you. When you finish masturbating, you feel some kind of emptiness in you because the copulation is between yourself. They complement the heat, the whole emotion that comes with having it with a fellow mankind. It's not there. It further creates vacuum in you. And this vacuum, if it's going to affect you alone, it should have been better. This vacuum now will now be putting you on a different pedestal, different sexual pedestal, above what the strength of ordinary mankind can meet up. So a woman who is used to the vibration of a dildo and the penetration of a dildo will find it very, very unsatisfying being with a man in terms of reaching orgasm. She might be satisfied when it comes to companionship, but the orgasm, the vibration, the rate at which her brain has been processing sexual intercourse in a very unnatural manner, it will be very difficult for her to keep up with a natural person. And also man also. A man that is used to masturbation who find it very quickly easy to now begin to complain that the wives or the spouse's vagina is too loose or whatever, because he's used to dictating the tune and the grip of his own penis. If you are a spiritual person who is religious, you can get off my platform right away, right now. But if you are a normal human being willing to learn, you can stay, because I'll be using some terms that will be professional but also almost look sexual to you. Now, people write me letters and send me questions about their struggles with pornography. And as a matter of fact, the last time I received an inbox on my WhatsApp about it was 2 weeks ago. Certain person was talking about how he has been very lonely even before the curfew started, and how he has really plugged into pornography, watching it day and night. And when the person was talking to me, he was talking to me as if like a guilty person, someone who is judged, accursed. So I needed to now talk to this person and say, calm down. What you watch is pornography. It's a movie. You have not killed anybody. So why are you making it look as if, don't they call it adult movie? That's why they call it adult movie. It's not meant for little children. It's meant for adults. And I shared some of my experience with this person. And I also promised to also do a video regarding it. Now, I will start this way by telling you about my own experience and the struggle I had with pornography. Your pastor may be very hypocritical, not talking about this with you. I'm not your pastor. I'm not your imam. I'm a friend of yours. And I don't care what you say about me. I'm my own judge. And I determine when I'm going to be judged on how I'm going to be judged. So listen now. Put off the hypocrisy. We are seeking to know, right? So it so happened that when I finished secondary school, at about the age of 17, I fell in love with this lady. She was a head girl. I loved her. And I asked her out. She wasn't feeling me, but I was bent to really get her to love me back. I schooled in Ogun State, so we came to Lagos after examination for holiday. And then I went to her house one day to see her. So I was there in a bid to actually discourage me from chasing her. She brought in one young man. I remember their name vividly, I'm not going to mention. And said, this man is my future husband, like little children do. When I look at the old scenario right now, it's too childish for me to be in. So I was heartbroken, I left. I think it was Agbado Kiaro that I went to see her. I was with my uncle in Dopemu. So from that place to Dopemu, Agege, I was so heartbroken that I didn't know when we got to that bus stop. I was already running temperature. My world was coming to an end. So it was a bus conductor that woke me up and told me, we're here. I managed to get home, saw my uncle, and I went into a corner, started crying. And my uncle said, why? I explained to him, and he was really angry. Why will a woman make you cry? So he said it's going now, so he gave me 2 cassettes. Then we were using VCR, those cassettes, He said I should watch one first, then I should watch the second later. I said, okay. He said, whatever you learn from it, let me know when So I watched the very first one. The very first time I was going to be watching Titanic. It's been out for a long while, but I've not seen it. So I saw Titanic and it added to my sorrow. Titanic added to my level of heartbreak, how Jack rose, and and I was like, wow, why should people love die this way? So I kept it aside. Sorry about the network. I kept it aside and I slotted in the second VCR, a video cassette. And I saw a lady, a white woman, who went into a supermarket. I have a very elephant memory, so I'm going to describe to you. She went into a supermarket. She picked one or two groceries and she went to the cashier, tried to pay. So an announcement was made in the mall. I think they wrote her that she stole something, so she needed to report to the back of the mall to meet the manager. So when she got there, the manager and the person who came to arrest her, they started putting off her clothes. And she knelt down and the whole thing started. And I'm like, what is this? I was really infuriated and very angry that, are they trying to rape this lady? But then I noticed that she was enjoying whatever is happening there. It was later I realized that what she was doing to one is called blowjob. What she was doing to another is called doggy style. And later, much later, I realized that what they were doing is it twosome? And I was like, what kind of life is this? So when my uncle came back, he asked me, what did I learn? I said, I saw one woman, a man died for her. I saw another one, men used her and dumped her. And it was like, now you got the message. Women are not worth dying for. Just move on and all that. If I see you cry again, sending you back to Ogun State. That's his own way of teaching me how to move on with life. But then he went out. The second day, I went back to that second VCR, video cassette, and I had to watch it, finish it again. I didn't know what masturbation means. It became an instinct. It became something of an instinct. I just reacted to it. And then I saw that. Come. This thing is so sweet. Oh. It now felt like paradise to me. The paradise I've been hearing. Everything looks like heaven. Wow. I spent like 1 month with my uncle. Every single day, I watched that VCR, that video cassette. And I was enjoying the feeling. That was way long before Pornhub, X-Master or X-Master or whatever it is came out. And we went online. Then there was no internet or even mobile phone in Nigeria then. I was talking to you. And it almost became something of a daily routine. And one day I called myself, like, come. So the more addicted I become to these pornography movies, the farther I am from human being. I don't want to have human relation. I feel okay with myself, within me. I feel whatever I need a woman for, I can always see a simulation and get done. They call it wanking and move on. But something in me kept telling me this is not normal. You need to be able to relate with people. And then I tried my best to break the jinx. I started relating with women. Something now happened. When I meet with women, I just want to use them to practice what I've seen in those adult movies. So when I see a woman, the only thing I'm thinking about is how to have her in a position that I've seen in those adult movies. To an extent that I started keeping many girlfriends. I got friends who are with me, they don't know my struggles. Everybody have their own issue. But I kept talking to myself that you can't go on with this. These are human beings. You're just using them. Now, whoever does not know where this whole thing started, we say men are wicked, men are scum, and all of those things. Now, you know, it started from me going through heartbreak, meeting my uncle telling me to just learn a lesson. He didn't tell me to be watching pornography, but I was introduced to it, and then I got stuck. And it took a lot of decision within me to resist the urge. I hear people say they are going for deliverance, that they prayed it out of them, and all of those things. So let me tell you something. There is no deliverance that is beyond decision. There is no deliverance from anything that can be bigger than your decision on what you want and what you don't want. So those times I was a Christian, but I was watching porno. I was watching pornography. I was masturbating. I was lifting up the holy hands. I was singing in churches. And I whisper to your ear that miracles were happening, and I was seeing visions, but I was doing those dirty stuff. All I need to do is, before I go on the altar to go and lead praise and worship, I just say, Father, forgive me, you know as it be now. Now move on. I promise myself I won't do it. When I get home, I return to it. Some days I watch this stuff and I cry, feel like, why am I going back to this thing and all that? Until I'm able to now sit myself down to talk sense into myself and be like, do you want to be like this forever? Now I started having friends who are getting married, who are still stuck watching pornography, who cannot get erection until they have seen pornography before they make love to their spouse. And I'm wondering, is this what my life's going to end up with? That if I don't see my wife in a very violent position and all that, those things they do in the movies, I won't have enough erection, because what you're doing is that you are increasing the level of exposure of your brain towards a certain action and reaction. And what you do not know is that those people you are seeing in the movie are only getting paid for what they are doing. Now, the woman you are with you, the man you are with you, these are real human beings needing real human connection. And there's no way you're going to make love to a person with the mindset of a pornography in your head, except they are also like a beast like you. They will know that, no, you're not trying to connect, you're trying to just impress me. Have I said to you that pornography is bad or good? I have not said so. I have only shared my own experience with you. Now you must know that pornography was not intended to propagate immorality. Let's start with that. The industry of pornography did not start for the sake of corrupting people's mind and all. Just like the syrup called Coca-Cola was not created for you to get addicted to. You can do well to Google the history of Coca-Cola. It was just tonic. It was a syrup. It was meant to do something medically to you, something that became a menu on the dining now. It used to be called adult education or sex education. It is so modest in those days that the first set of pornographic movies that was created with people not really kissing, but demonstrating how to kiss to you. Not really having sexual intercourse, but demonstrating to you on how to have sexual intercourse. As a matter of fact, most of the first set of pornography, the actors and the actress have their panties on. They have their panties on. So they were just creating content for you to be able to learn, because they know that most people are getting married and they're having sex for the first time in their lives, they might need understanding on how to go about it. Aside the fact that they have the urge as an instinct, they need to know the skills on how to enjoy it. In a certain village of Kenya, women are mandated to go to this particular training school run by local women who will teach them how to make love to their husband, how to, make their vagina worth, coming back for and all that. That was the intention of the pornography movies then. It is so much that even if you go for counseling in churches in those days, they will also play for you adult education, adult movies, so that you will know how to do it when you get there. And women have several outlets below their waistline. So you don't start putting your penis in the urethra opening or in the anus and you think you are in the vagina. So they needed to teach people how to go about these things, and it was acceptable as a means of educating intended couples when they get to a certain level in counseling. So the industry of pornography started as an educational industry then. It was basically an economic product that is used to meet demands of people who are very, very oblivious or ignorant of the act of sexual intercourse. But then more demand started coming for it. People started wanting more. And just like you will want to drink like 3 bottles of Coca-Cola in a day now, because you are becoming addicted to it, it's the same way people want to watch this style, watch that style, watch all those kind of a thing. Now there is possibility for you to perverse a very good gift. Possibility for you to perverse a very good gift. Even though the industry of pornography was created as an educational content industry that was meant to produce content that would teach new wedded couples who have not had sex before on how to go about it, even then they were putting on their clothing and all that. It became perverted. Now you check several pornography sites now. It's so bad that there are pornographies where elderly person is making love to little children, pedophiles. Strange way of doing things. Anal sex, what do they call that one? Fetish, or whatever they call it. BDSM, bondage, discipline, sex, slaves and masters. They have the MILF, MILF, go and find out. They have the POG, different kind. So I've seen a lot of pornography before. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. But while watching this thing, the moment you begin to now consider the morality behind it, now this is not about Jesus, this is not about Allah. God has nothing to do with this. This is about calling your brain to order now. That, come, learning is a progressive event. First, you learned through pornography how to do what they call missionary style. Then from there, you began to find it so fanciful, all you know is missionary style. Then one day, you found yourself seeing something doggy style. You want to try it also. Now, you are learning. You are progressing now. So when someone tells you, I want to do missionary style, you want to move. You have promoted yourself. You are now one-star general. So you don't get satisfied with doggy style. You want to do, with missionary style, you want to do doggy style. You now move on, and suddenly, you began to see 2 women, 1 man, or 5 men, 1 woman, and then your sexual orientation readjusted. You now become 2-star sexual general. So when you are with one person, you think they are not enough because your brain has been exposed to making love to two women at the same time, or joining team with other men when it is not football, to have sex with one woman, then you now move on and you begin to see how people are having anal sex, and not because it is convenient for you, but because you have taught your brain another level of perversion, then you begin to demand for anal sex from women. Talk to me. Women of different caliber who are married to men whom you will not think could cheat on water. But these men are requesting that if you don't allow me to have anal sex with you, I don't feel sexually attracted to you through your vagina anymore. Men who are requesting that their wives use dildo on them. Let me say it again. Men who are requesting that their wife use dildo for their own anus. For the man's anus, the man is requesting that the wife help him to use dildo on him. Different kind of things that we get to learn. And you now begin to wonder, is the evil spirit that possesses these people? It is not evil spirit. It is learning process. People are learning new things. You are exposing your mind and your thirst. You are exposing your hunger to a different kind of diet. And this is why we call it sexuality, a sexual orientation. It is an education that you are learning. Now, it is easy for you now than before to find yourself in the pornography site at any time. You are on Google, you see this ad, you click on it, before you know they land you in this place. And maybe you were having struggle with sexual whatever before, and you get stuck in it. Does that mean that you have committed sin against anybody or something is wrong with you? No. As a matter of fact, you could watch pornography without even feeling sexual. Sometimes. It depends on your state of mind. But how can we trust your state of mind with a content that is so powerful enough to mess your reaction to another mankind up? Remember I said all this started as an educational content provider because people were demanding on, okay, how can we do it better? How can we do it better? And mankind began to learn. One thing you must also know before you begin to run to your pastor for deliverance is this. You must know that the people you see in pornography are actors. They are not less or more of an actor like the Denzel Washington and the rest of it. What Denzel, Idris Elba, Jolie, what all of them does is they were paid to act a script. Exactly what is happening in the pornography industry also. I want to now ask you a question. Imagine that Jackie Chan was paid to act a script of dropping from the sky to the ground. Would you just watch Jackie Chan dropping from the sky to the ground and go jump from the sky to the ground? Would you do that? Because you must put into consideration that Jackie Chan is aided. Sometimes it might be a visual effect. Sometimes it's well belted up. Everything is well built. But if you follow the content you see on movies, into two, you will destroy your own life. But what they were doing in the normal mainstream movie is the same thing they are doing in pornography movies. As a matter of fact, even these ones in pornography movies, just like your musician will like to smoke, drink up before they come to perform so that they can look so energetic to you, those guys get, is it Viagra or what do you call it? They get injection also. But you do not know most of these things, that these people are only being paid. So you are copying the life of those who are being paid for the life, for the things they do. You are doing it for free and you are getting emptiness in return. These things, when you sit back to look at them, you will realize that no one is getting hurt here except you yourself. Especially when you have moved from the level of using it as a learning aid to perverting it. Because every good gift, every good innovation, every creativity started off from the perspective of positivity before men begin to now pervert it. You must have seen a lot of apocalyptic movies. That does not mean you're going to break your bridge or mess your life up because you have seen a movie. The same thing you should not do when you watch pornography, because these are people acting out life for you. And those guys are getting stinkingly rich at your expense. They are getting stinkingly rich. So while you are trying to compare your own spouse, that is a normal human being, that is not drugged and is not under the influence of anything, to the man you see on a movie that has been injected, that is doing it with the motivation of getting paid, before you do that, calm down now. Calm down. Because you know what? Partnership with human being can be so awesome and beautiful until we begin to compare them to people who are not in the relationship with us. Your spouse is your spouse. An actor is an actor. So when you meet a man who has actually explored a lot, it may be difficult to satisfy him. When you meet a woman who has also explored too much, it's going to be difficult to satisfy him. And at the end of the day, they move from this to this, hoping to get the right person that they saw on the TV. And they will never find. And once in a while, even if they find the right person they saw on the TV, the person is actually going to do to them what it was done on TV, and then they move on. I tried to put all these things into consideration, and it began to give me the common sense to now learn self-control. Remember, I told you there is no greater deliverance than decision. Your decision to say, this thing no go kill me. No, I have to leave it. It's a matter of urgency. I want you spouses, married couples, to now begin to take caution. Some of your spouse, when they want to make love to you, they have to go into the bathroom to go and watch a little bit of pornography as an appetizer before they come to make love to you. Their life has been so messed up to that point that when they are coming to the bed with you, you think your spouse or your partner is coming to make love to you, but in the space of their imagination, they have replaced your head, your body, your breast, everything about you with that person they just saw now on their phone. And when they are doing you like an animal, you say, my husband is like a tiger in bed. You are to him not more than a prey. And what happens to a prey? Destruction. Because when it destroys you, it will find another person. So when they keep asking you for unreasonable sexual adventure, know that they want to destroy you, move on to the next person. And all of these things are learned behaviors through pornography, especially when you are addicted to it. Some of them, there's nothing wrong with them. Can I tell you something? Let's take a little step backward right now. I'm sharing from my experience now. Let's take a little step backward. Some of them, there's nothing wrong with their ejaculation. Pornography has actually affected a part of their frontal lobe that they have this perpetual anxiety. The perpetual anxiety. Now, take a look at this. You can go and learn. I believe you to be a seeker, right? You can go and learn. Most of the pornography on this site is between 5 minutes, 2 minutes to 6 minutes. They cut it short. Most of the readily available ones between 2 minutes to 6 minutes. Now, your spouse, hear me now, your spouse has been training his body to be sexually active under the duration of that minute that is used to watching. So anything beyond that, his body has not learned to supersede it. Can I come again? Most of the pornographic content online now on those pornography sites is ranging between 2 minutes to 6 minutes, standard duration. If your spouse become addicted to pornography, your spouse indirectly or knowingly has spent the most part of their years training their body and their sexual organ to only not go beyond the duration that they have seen. So when you see them quick ejaculation, before you know it, they are tired. Under a few minutes that you guys started, they are done, and all of those things. Now you may be dealing with a possible case of a man who has adjusted his own sexual agility and ability, or a woman who has adjusted ability and agility to the duration, the standard duration of Pornhub and the rest of them. Can you see the way we are killing ourselves now? How we allow the media and what should be helping us to destroy us. Can you see now? So, the numbers of cells that carries memory in your body are way larger and more than the ones in your brain. Your reproductive organ, your penis, your prostate gland, your clitoris, your vagina, all of these things, they are also learning a certain behavior that you have exposed them to over the time. And when you teach your vagina or your penis to get to climax under a certain period of time, over longer period of years, they will never be able to do more than that, because the moment they get to that time, even though you are not watching time, they know time. Don't worry about them. They know, they have studied. At that time, they want to bust up, and then you begin to now have clashes between you and your spouse. That what is happening. Unfortunately for you, most times people come together having different kind of sexual exposure. Maybe the woman rarely come under 15 minutes and the man is coming around 5 minutes. Trouble started in the home, and then they could not trace it. Oh, you cannot kill me, you cannot kill me, and all these things are simple things that you could get over if you also deal with your addiction. The most insulting part of it is when you are making love to someone, or someone is making love to you, but they are not with you. Their body is with you, their mind are not with you. Their mind is far from you. It's easy for men. I learned it's easy for women too. It's easy for a man to be making love to a woman and be imagining another woman on this body. It's easy. Now talk about how many women you have seen in pornography. The objectifying of partners, the perversion, and the disconnection from reality. Those ills are there too. You get disconnected from reality. Now you really are in love with this person, but when it comes to the matter of sex, you are disconnected from them because you are used to a certain kind of women. And this pornography site, they offer you different ranges. I've seen men who are not homosexual, but they would rather watch pornography of transgender men who are acting like women and all that. So give them sexual agility towards their spouse. All of you go to church. You all go to mosque. We all put on clothes and we smile. We hide under social media. We don't talk about these things. Does it mean they don't exist? In all the age grade of this world, both the teenagers and the elderly ones. Now people now begin to look for deliverance. From my experience, most people who have gone to either MFM or whatever it is for deliverance from the spirit of masturbation, they all went back to it full time. It's like denying your own skin. They all went back to it full time. I want you to know that you can learn an habit that will stay with you forever by doing that thing for 21 days straight away. So when some people are telling you that they are celibate, they are not counting masturbation to it. Celebration to some people, being celibate to some set of people is not meeting with a human being. That does not remove the fact that pornography and masturbation is going on underneath. As a matter of fact, some people in some climes see it as a way of keeping their body holy by masturbating and not meeting with human being. All of these styles and this method of wanting to get out of reality will not help you except you go back to the drawing board and see what you are really missing, what you are missing out of, what you are suffering from. Now, if you come to me having issue with your sexuality, not having skill or understanding of it at all, I would gladly recommend for you to watch some adult movies so that you can learn. With the caveat emptor that be careful not to get addicted to it. I've seen people who are so addicted to Bollywood movies. Any other movie they don't want to know. Bollywood movies. They are so addicted that they would rather their house burn down than to miss Z World. Have you seen Z World before? Does that mean Z World, watching Z World is bad? No. But to that person, what is happening? Something normal, something that was meant to teach you, something that does not need your emotional attachment is now becoming your source of perversion. So an actor die, an actress die, and you begin to cry in real life. Why? Because that content has gripped your mind, has become another idol in you. When would you start thinking of moving away from pornography? When watching pornography becomes a means of survival for you. The moment a thing becomes a means of survival for you, you need to watch. If it is not air that you breathe or the water you drink, nothing should be a means of survival for you. Nothing else. As a matter of fact, when you drink too much of water, you mess your life up. Too much of everything is bad. If some people don't watch pornography within 4 hours, if they don't watch it within 2 days, it's as if they have become holy within those 2 days. And the way they will return back to it with full force, as if they have missed out something in life. Those kind of people need what we call rehabilitation. The same way we rehabilitate those who are drug addicts, they also need to be rehabilitated. Unfortunately, the market is booming. And no government is talking about this particular kind of addiction that is messing the life of people up inside out. So if people come to me, talk to me about their addiction to pornography and masturbation, I just say, what you need is rehabilitation, not deliverance. And the reason why you subject yourself to rehabilitation is when you decide. Deliverance starts with decision. What did I say? Deliverance starts with decision. Find someone you can be accountable to. Find someone who can go on with the struggle with you and help you. Because this is not a battle you can fight on your own, especially if you don't have a very strong mind. Remember that this is not a habit that you pick up just yesterday. This is something you have been doing for years, year in, year out. Not to mention that if you do one thing for the next 21 days, it becomes your permanent attitude because it will damage a part of your brain and make your brain want to survive on it. But when you ask most people now, they have been masturbating as early as the age of 11. That's why I'm now begging parents, please. This is the time for you now to begin to now regulate more than ever before the access of your children to TV content, TV commercials, and internet access also. But it's all started that way. And don't take anything for granted. Most of your decoders, they come with parental guidance and parental control. If you buy decoder, learn from the manual how your children cannot have access to this and that. I got a phone that can give me access to Facebook just few hours in a day. I can determine how many hours I want to have access to Facebook in a day, and it will lock me out. And in that phone, there is a function that I can access the calculator, I can access voice recorder, but I might not be able to access. I will not be able to even access anything internet-wise. Even if your children want a phone, you can buy a phone for them to receive a call. but you can deny them access to either WhatsApp, Facebook, and all those places. And let me tell you now, you need not go to pornography site now to see pornography. Our world is a living pornography now. Our women now dress scantily. What we used to see on TV, what we used to see on movies, what we used to be sacred about, what we used to hide when we want to watch, we can see it very easily now. They are on Instagram, they are on Facebook, they are twerking here, they are showing breast here, they are doing this challenge here, they are doing this challenge there, here and there. We enter buses with them, we go out, we see them. If you go to church, you still see so many nudity and pornography. Mind is messed up so much more that let's just go naked. Let's just be walking naked so that we know nothing is hidden. Why are you hiding what you are showing me? When you hide what you are showing me, what you're doing is you are affecting my curiosity and my imagination. So our world is so messed up that it takes an extra self-control for you now to begin to move away. Now, how do we train children in this kind of plane, in this kind of dispensation? How do we train them not to be sexually minded? That when they see opposite sex, the first thing that comes to mind is not, I want to make love to you, I want to have sex with you. Because that's basically what people are gunning for right now. Women will come to you now and say, just have sex with me, I'm okay. Men will come outright and say, I don't want something more for you, I have a wife at home, but I just want to have sex with you and pay you off. They don't even go about the bush right now. They just go straight to the point. And some of them will tell you to bring your friends along. All these things exist in church, outside church, in mosque, outside mosque, everywhere, in all plane. But where does it start from? This addiction to pornography. Now, I share with you how I am able to overcome my own struggle with this thing. Like I said before, I called myself and I began to see what damages this thing is doing. And voluntarily and intentionally, I started talking to myself that if I don't stop, this thing will stop me. If I do not stop, this guy will stop me. And I don't want to be stopped, not even by pornography. So what I do is whenever I see a thing, a side that look like this, or have the urge to want to go, what I first think about are the disadvantages. And I tell you the truth, the advantages of pornography only last you for just few minutes of watching it. After that, the rest of your life, you'll carry the disadvantages all your life. So I look at, will I use this temporary pleasure to mess up my permanent joy? And I told myself, I can't allow this to happen. I can't allow this to happen. Now remember, I got addicted to it then. So what I did was to now give myself a task. I gave myself a task many years back. I always watch it every day before. Then I started giving myself a task. I didn't give myself a Herculean task. I cannot keep myself. So I started saying, okay, I'm going to be leaving 2 days interval to watch this thing. When I overcame the 2 days interval, I moved into 5 days. From 5 days to 7 days. From 7 days, I started leaping on weeks. I started leaping on weeks, and after weeks, I started leaping on months. And at a point in time, I realized that I need to now remind myself that, oh boy, you never watched pornography for the past 2 months. So go watch out, go watch out. Now, it's now becoming a thing I need to remind myself to go and do. Because first, I started my rehabilitation by giving myself space. And my body started learning. One thing you have to know is that this natural intelligence called your mortal body can learn anything and can adapt to anything. So my body started learning how to live without that pornography. To the point that I will be the one reminding my body that we never watch this thing, oh boy, maybe we go watch that now. And when I started getting to that spot, I realized that when I now go back to watch it, it doesn't make a hold on me anymore. Let me use the word of these days, English. It doesn't freak me anymore. I just watch it and I'm like, and so, kilo tu shele, kilo tu ku. And gradually like that, I just move away permanently from it. And the moment I move away permanently from it, one thing happened to me, and I must share with you. I started realizing that women are human beings of great and vast advantages and opportunity. Women are so powerful. Now I started realizing that these women, they are even more intelligent than an average man. They are so powerful. Now before, all I could see a woman for, the moment I see a little contour, the next thing is how to have sex, how to press it, how to do it. But the moment I grab myself from this perversion within me, I can now relate with a woman, do business with a woman, be in the same room with a woman, even sleep overnight in a place with a woman, platonically, without any string attached. Then because I began to see more than sex in women, I began to reap the benefit of being a friend of a woman. Now, whatever opportunity they have, they share with me. What I have, I share with them. I put them in my key post when it comes to organization. And I go to bed to rest. And tomorrow, if I get married, it's going to be very absurd for me to now look at my wife as an object, because now I know how to look at women as a human, not as an object of my sexual satisfaction. Remember where my story started from. Remember that the person who also linked me with this was not linking me with it so that I can perverse. He was trying to help me get over a broken heart. So I got hooked. You also can free yourself from this thing. But here is what I want you to know. I identify with your struggle. And while you're still struggling with it, if this is the only way you can move from day 1 to 2, I'm telling you, do not add guilty conscience to it. Don't kill yourself before death comes. Do not begin to now feel like a broken record. You can overcome it. But if for now you are still struggling with it, know that you are not condemned. And really, nothing is wrong with you. If I'm to say it on a platonic level, nothing is wrong with you because you have sexual agility. You have sexual urge. Some people, this is the miracle they are praying for. Some people are permanently impotent. Some women do not even have a vagina opening. They have never menstruated before. They don't know what the feeling of sexual intercourse is. So I just want to congratulate you. Or would you allow this urge to determine the end of your life? Would you allow it to reduce the kind of opportunity you can access by being in a platonic relationship with other people of different sexual gender? This gift you have been given by the Spirit of life, don't let it become the end of your life. My name is Greatman Ayilara. You know, if it is not true, I will not try to tell you about it. I hope we have learned today. And you can go ahead and share with as many friends or as many people as possible on your social circles. And then you can also join me on YouTube, Greatman Ayilara on YouTube. Just press your subscribe button and also your notification button to know when we are live. And I also really appreciate you. If you have inquiries, questions, and all that you want us to address, brainstorm together, you can just hit my inbox or send me mail, greatmanayilara@gmail.com. I'm always here for you. Let's think together of a way out of so many things that has been spiritualized and so many things that we have been condemned about. Those who give their life to understanding and wisdom always live freely for the rest of their lives. Namaste.